Welcome back, students. Welcome to biology classes. Today we are going to see 10 science biology and we are going to see the new chapter, and that is chapter 9, that is heredity and evolution, right? So first today we will see about the introductory part of this chapter, and then we will shift to the upcoming main topics. And this in this chapter you are going to study related to the heredity as well as the evolution which is taking place, right? So let's start with today's session. So first we will see about what exactly heredity and inherited traits means. So heredity refers to the transmission of characters from parents to offsprings, right? So when we are saying about, or when we are talking about heredity, that is in Gujarati you simply you know about it as Varsagat, right? So that is what you are talking about, the heredity which is transmitted from one generation to the next generation, that is from the parents to the offsprings, right? So that is nothing but the heredity. So had the characters, right? So the characters which are present in the parents, they are being transmitted from the parents body to the offspring's body. Offspring is nothing but the babies, right? So heredity is the transmission of the characters from parents to offsprings, and that is known as heredity. Now, an inherited trait is a particular genetically determined feature that distinguishes a person from the others. For example, attached or free earlobes in human beings, right? Now, inherited trait, that is a trait. Trait means character, right? And inherited means the character is being passed from one generation to the next generation, right? So a particular character which is being passed from one generation to the next generation, it can be genetically determined, right? By the that how you can distinguish now. It's not possible that all the people or all the human beings, they are looking just like same, or they are identical as from with each other, right? So if we are talking about human beings, then all human beings have their own unique identity, right? So that is, there are several distinguishing features, right, which every person has, and this determines that some the example of it can be understood that some have attached ears lobes, right, and some have free ear lobes, right? So this way you can find out the differences. There are so many differences which are seen in the characters which are inherited from one generation to the next generation. And it is not necessary that if the parents are having the same, or we can say if the parents are having attached lobes, right, then the offspring is also going to get the same. That is not necessary. There may be some changes also which is observed in the offsprings, even though they are being inherited, or even though if they are being transmitted from the parents to the offspring. So that is heredity and inherited traits. Now there are several rules for the inheritance of traits, right? So Mendel, he said, the Mendel, that scientist Mendel, he was a genetist, right? So that is genetics, to study the study of genetics, right? That is the person who studies in detail about genetics, that person is said to be geneticist, right? Now Mendel is said to be the father of heredity, or we can say the father of inheritance and thus genetics, right? Why is it so? Because he was the first one to understand the genetics, or we can say the heredity and the inheritance, right? So for this reason, as he understood and he proposed the laws of inheritance, for this reason he is said to be the father of genetics, right? Now Mendel contributed in the rules. He contributed several rules in accordance with the inheritance of the traits. So the rules for inheritance of traits in human beings are related to the fact that both mother and father contribute an equal amount of genetic material, that is DNA, to their offspring. Now as you know, in chapter 8 we have understood that uh, half of the portion is coming from the mother and half is coming from the father, right? So the gametes which are from the father, it is also haploid, that is single N, right? And from mother, that is from ovum, that is also single N, right? But when they are fused with each other, 2N is formed, that is diploid, that is zygote. So zygote is having 2N, that is one half of the DNA is coming from the mother and half of the DNA is coming from the father. So DNA is nothing but the genetic material. So that genetic material which is being passed from one generation to the next generation, right? So half of the DNA will be coming from the mother's part and half of the DNA is going to come from the father's part, right? So Mendel contributed and he said or he composed several rules of inheritance, right? And he proposed those rules, he contributed those rules in accordance to understand exactly that what exactly a heredity is, right? So now an offspring will get two versions of that trait of from the two parents. So for one single character, that is, let's take an example of the vision of the eye, right? Or we can say that let's take an example of eye color, right? If the father is having blue colored eyes and if the mother is having black colored eyes, right? The baby is going to get the uh, like trait, that is character, from both the parents. So both the parents, like the gene for the color of the eye from mother is also coming and from father is also coming, right? But out of them, one will be dominant and one will be recessive, right? That is, dominant means the one which is expressive, that is expressing in the baby, right? So that is dominant, and the one which is remaining unexpressed, that is said to be recessive, right? So the two things can occur when we are talking about inheritance, right? So now the baby is having two DNAs, right? So first is of half is of mother, half is of father. Now in this DNA, there is presence of genes of a particular character. And let's take example of eye color. The father is having blue colored eyes and the mother is having black colored eyes. So the baby is having two types of genes of a same character. That is, for the color of the eye, the baby is having two genes. One is for the blue color and one is for the black color, right? But amongst these two, that is blue and black, the whichever one will be the strongest one, that is going to express itself in the baby. So if the mother's genes are comparatively more stronger and more expressive and more dominating, then the baby's color's eyes will be black in color. But if the father's DNA or if the father's genes of eye color is comparatively more stronger than the mother's DNA, then the baby's eye color will be blue. So I hope you are understanding that if the particular character is being expressed in the baby, right, that is a dominance, and the one which is not expressed, that is recessive, right? So now the Mendel worked out rules for inheritance of these traits. So what he did is Mendel studied these traits in order to understand, right, that he performed several experiments, and his most important experiment which he performed on garden pea, right? And the scientific name of the garden pea is Pisum sativum. This can be asked in MCQ, and it is one of the mostly asked question, that what is the scientific name of garden pea, and that is Pisum sativum, right? So this Mendel, that is Roger John Mendel, he said to be the father of genetics because he performed the experiments with garden peas, and he studied through the garden peas that he observed that there were so many number of contrasting traits in garden peas and were observed, and he observed their inheritance. So he selected several characters, that this many characters, right, and they were expressed in different way in another generation, right? So he carried out this experiments to understand, right, that how the inheritance is taking place of a particular character, right? So here Next is about several important terms. So we will see about several important terms which are very much important for this chapter, right? And this can be even asked in short questions as well as MCQ part also. So chromosomes are long thread-like structures which are present in the nucleus of a cell and which contain a hereditary information of the cell in the form of genes, right? So chromosomes, it is nothing. See, the cell is there. Inside the cell there is presence of cell organelles, right? And one of the important cell organelle is nucleus. This nucleus is going to contain the genetic material, and this genetic material is nothing but the DNA. This DNA is when present in the free form, it is double stranded and it is comparatively loose in nature. But when the cell is about to divide, at that time what happens, it condenses or it gets compacted, right? And due to this what happens, they are coming closer to each other and they are attaining a structure which is known as chromosomes. And these chromosomes, they are thread like structures which are present in the nucleus, and they are going to depict, or they are going to contain the hereditary information. Hereditary information means those information which are passing from one generation to the next generation, and this information is being carried out by a special form of genes, right? Second is the DNA is a chemical in the chromosome which carries the traits in a coded form. So in the DNA there is presence of several codes, and these codes like this particular codes, they carry or they are properly for a particular character. So if for the eye color, if a code is there, then this particular code, it is going to work for that character only, right? So that is, DNA is going to have this chromosomes which carries the traits, that is the characters in the coded form. So there will be presence of several codes. Now gene is the part of a chromosome which controls a specific biological function. So gene is what? It is the part of the chromosome, right? Small genes are present and they are going to control what? The biological functions which are carried out in the body. Next is the contrasting characters. Contrasting characters means a pair of visible characters such as tall and dwarf, white and violet flowers, round and wrinkled seeds, green and yellow seeds. That means for one single character, you are observing two different types of traits, right? That is uh, for one single gene you are observing two different types of characters, right? That is contrasting characters. That is, if a plant is there, right? So if let's take example of pea plant, right? The pea plant, some plant may be small also, that is dwarf, and some plants are tall in nature. So though both are of the same species, that is pea plant, but their characters are different, that is some of them are dwarf, that is small, and some of them are tall in nature. So one character is there but they are contrasting, that is they are opposite to each other. Same way the flowers are same but the color is different, some are white in color, some are violet in color. Then some seeds are there, even though the seeds are same but some of them are having round shape and some are having the wrinkled shape, right? Next is, some are having green colored seeds and some are having the yellow colored seeds. So these are several contrasting traits which are observed in accordance with the like characters. Next is the dominant trait, that is the one which is expressing itself in the first generation, right? That is said to be the dominant trait. The example is, if a pea plant is getting whatever is, if you are growing pea plant and if the majority of plant grows in the tall manner, then the tall is dominant. Recessive means the character which does not expresses itself. So the one which is not expressive, that is said to be the recessive trait, right? But still it is present in the F1 generation. That is, even though it is present but it is not expressing itself, right? So that is known as recessive trait. And the example is, even though there is presence of all the tall trees, but even though in between them also there would be presence of few small plants also, right? So that is what the recessive trait. So dominance and recessive. Next is about the Mendel's experiment, right? So, but before going to that, homozygous and heterozygous. Homozygous, that is a condition which both the genes of same type are present. For example, an organism has both the genes for tallness. It is expressed as capital T, and genes for dwarfness are written as small t, small t. So homozygous. So it is a condition where the both the genes, right? So now genes always occur in pairs, right? So you can see over here where I'm showing the cursor, right? See, you can see this capital T is present. This two of them are two genes, right? But this two of them are same. For this reason they are said to be homozygous. While we are talking about heterozygous, you can see here is capital T, small t, that is fusion of two different. Homo means same and hetero means different. Homozygous, that is two of the genes are same, and heterozygous means different. Hetero means different. For this reason here capital T and small t, these two of the genes are different. For this reason they are said to be heterozygous, right? So homozygous means it is a condition where both the genes are of the same type, and heterozygous means the condition in which both the genes are of different types. Next is the genotype. Now genotype is what? It is genetic makeup of an individual, right? So normally the whatever genes are present inside an individual, that is known as genotype. The example of it can be explained as a pure tall plant is expressed as capital T, and hybrid is expressed as capital T, small t. Now see over here, you can see normally the tall plant, if a pure tall plant is there, then it is not going to have any of the characters or any of the genes of small tree or any other tree or a plant, right? So genotype means what? If a pure tall plant is there, then it is expressed as capital T, and if a hybrid is there, hybrid means it is combination of two different things, right? So if a hybrid is there, then it will be capital T, small t, right? So that is nothing but the genotype of a particular like individual. Then phenotype, that is the external appearance, that is what type of characters you see, what are the types of leaves, how many branches are there, how many type of flowers are growing on it, right? So what are the exact appearances of the plant is that is a physical appearance, whatever you see physically through your naked eyes, that is phenotype, right? Genotype is present insidely and phenotype you can see externally, right? And the last is homologous pair of chromosomes are those in which one member is contributed by the father and other by the mother, and both have genes for the same character at the same time and at the same position. So as I said earlier also, there will be half of the portion which will be coming from the mother, half will be coming for the father. These are both going to combine with each other to form one chromosome, right? And this way, as they are coming or as they are going or expressing for a same character, for this reason this type of chromosomes are said to be the homologous chromosomes, or we can simply say it as homologous pair of characters, right? So these are several terms which are very much important to understand, and if you are not understanding about this, then you will be facing much problems in the upcoming topics. So up till now we are keeping over here. I hope you are very clear with today's topic, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.